Let's talk about 5 ways that gardening can lower your stress and boost your health, and ways that gardening is more than just pretty flowers. I wanted to do another garden chat today in the style of the winter's greenhouse chats, where we talked about really important topics to us as gardeners. And this time the topic is very close to my heart, literally. Gardening has so many proven health benefits, and while I've known that for years, lately I've been paying even more attention to them. Without oversharing too much, I just want to say that I do have some health concerns that are happening right now, and so I have to be very mindful of a few of these things, which is why this talk is so important to me today. Hi you guys, this is Nicole from My Carolina Garden. My garden is located in Growing Zone 8B, and I am in southeastern North Carolina. First, let's talk about gardening as a stress reliever. That is the number one topic that is on my mind at this moment. I have a few things that are happening internally that are not quite right, and I do have doctors that are looking into it, and we are trying to get to the bottom of all the things that are happening to me. But one of the things is my blood pressure is super duper high. Now, it's not because of my lifestyle necessarily. It is and seems to be a reaction to other things that are happening inside. I say all of this because with the high blood pressure, that means I'm very susceptible to adrenaline and cortisol, those response hormones that get pumped out into us. And I have to be extremely mindful of that or anything that sends my heart racing. I also have to be mindful of the weather. So today, you guys, we are once again in a humid spot where our heat index is in the triple digits. I cannot physically do the gardening work that maybe I would like to do today. And so this is part of this whole issue. Why do we sit down and talk about these things? Well, we're real people. We are the gardeners behind our gardens. We are the ones that have the passion and take care of the gardens, but sometimes our health issues play a part in all of that and actually make it so that we can't get in the garden when we want to. So let's get back to number one point here, which is gardening as a stress reliever. Are you in touch with the feeling that as soon as you step outside, the fresh air can help you to feel better, or being in your gardening environment can help you to feel less stress and just overall a little bit more at ease? Maybe not so much with the humid air today. I don't feel that crispness that I want to just breathe right in, but when I walk down my garden pathways and I just look at the beauty that is there, things that I have created or that Mother Nature has helped me look after, that helps me tremendously. And I can feel those shots of adrenaline or cortisol lowering, and I can feel my body start to relax just being around the things that I love. Sometimes it's even almost meditative to sit and look at your garden and observe things that are happening, like maybe you're watching a bee hop from flower bud to flower bloom, etc. It takes us into a quieter space where maybe our response is not quite fight or flight, like when our blood pressure is really up high and again reacting to adrenaline, but instead we're relaxing. We're learning to rest and digest. So it's sort of the other side of the coin. A lot of times life is so busy, you don't get these times to just sit, observe, and enjoy. But when your health has a little question mark over it, it sort of forces you into this place to do that. And while I'm not thankful for health issues, I'm super thankful for being reminded to enjoy the beauty that's around me. And it's those simple little things, again, like the pollinators on your flowers, or even hearing the rustling of the leaves as a breeze blows by, that sort of thing. And I just go, okay, let's sit here in peace. While I'm not full out digging in the garden and doing like major work right now, even putting my hands in the dirt helps to calm me. And there's actually scientific proof behind the reasoning for that. There's research on what they call earthing, or grounding ourselves by touching the soil, where that perhaps contact with the ground can help to lower those stress hormones and actually lower inflammation too, which is crazy and awesome. So I feel like, heck yeah, let's do that. Even if it's maybe potting up a few things, being in touch with soil, something like that. Nothing that's overly exerting our bodies, but just helps us reground by feeling the earth in that way. Another way that gardening can help our bodies is by its gentle exercise. We may not think of gardening as exercise, but our body disagrees. There are so many things we do just routinely as gardeners, digging, bending, stretching, that just is kind of part of the whole game that we don't even really see, again, that it's exercise. But it is. And sometimes we're doing even heavier things, or like things like carrying bags of mulch or moving a heavy rock or piece of statuary or something like that. All of these little movements add up to increasing our circulation, getting our heart rate up, hopefully to a healthy point, and strengthening our muscles. For me, this type of exercise works well at this stage because I'm not counting reps while I'm exercising, or heck, I'm not even clicking off miles for a brisk walk, but instead I'm counting how many plants I get to put into the ground. And over time, that consistent low to moderate activity can actually help to lower our blood pressure and improve cardiovascular health. I am all about that. That sounds awesome. So again, I feel like enjoying the moment, enjoying the process, and doing things slowly is awesome for us. And you know what? It's not only about strength either. It's also about the way gardening improves our flexibility, our balance, and our endurance. I notice I can work longer without fatigue when I'm doing things in this slower, like I said, low to moderate exertion level. I'm just careful not to be doing, lots of severe digging, severe changes to the garden. Even though I really, really want to, I have ideas, I have projects in mind, and yet I have to sit here and kind of wait it out until my body starts saying it's time again to get out there and do that bigger stuff. So for now, I'm enjoying the smaller stuff. I'm enjoying taking care of things that I've already put into the ground, perhaps. Maybe finally enjoying the act of deadheading or even weeding, because hey, that's all improving the garden that I love also, right? Mindfulness and mental reset. Now I have to chuckle a little bit because I have the most perfect coffee mug here with a quote I'm sure we've all seen before because it's on many gardening gifts. So it says, "Into the garden I go to lose my mind and find my soul." So in this way, they're saying lose my mind in that you're not focusing on your work emails or your to-do list inside your house maybe, but instead you're losing yourself in the garden itself. Well, so it kind of sounds contrary. My third point here, the third gardening benefit is that act of mindfulness. The act of mindfulness that I'm referring to right now is being in the now, being in the present. Sometimes it is just pinching off those spent blooms, or checking leaves on your plants for signs of pests. And the thing is, you are here, you are in the now, and that's the idea. Get rid of all of that other mental heaviness and just be in your gardening space. Mindfulness experts talk about the idea and importance of flow state. We've probably all heard about flow state before, when you are so ingrained in something that you're doing that you lose all track of time. You are just there performing, creating, whatever it may be. And you have no concept of time anymore because you've gotten lost in the moment. You could just be out there for a long time. How many of us have been out gardening and the sun is setting? Next thing you know, it's dark and you're still out doing your tasks because you've literally not been paying attention to the outer environment, but you're absorbed completely in your garden. I know I'm guilty of that for sure. Guilty. I don't even want to say guilty. I get lost and wrapped up in the enjoyment of the garden that time and space doesn't even matter. So if gardening creates that flow state for you naturally, you are performing repetitive calming motions, like let's say again weeding or even planting in a steady row. And these calming repetitive motions signal to your brain that it's okay to relax. And from a health perspective, that matters. One of the things about my videos and my personality that you guys seem to resonate with a lot is my enthusiasm for gardening and my energy levels. A lot of you say, like, I You feel inspired by me because my energy levels are high, my spirit is high, and it's fun for you to watch, maybe makes it easier for you to watch. So I don't want you to think that my personality is going to change because I have to keep my heart rate lower or because of other things that are happening in conjunction with this nonsense. That is not the intention at all. I fully expect to be my normal, regular self, although some days it may be a little bit harder for me. So don't worry, I plan to be the same person, just more mindful. Let's say that. A fourth health benefit from gardening is being out in the fresh air, in the sunlight, gathering up some vitamin D. Oh my gosh, that again, one of my favorite things, especially when probably October rolls around here in coastal North Carolina. It is going to be absolutely fabulous to step outside and feel that crisper air and the beautiful sunlight shining on our faces. Oh my gosh, makes you feel amazing right away. That gives you that jump start that you're looking for to enter the garden in a happy state of mind. So let's get nitty gritty with some of the health factors in here. Sun exposure triggers your body to actually produce vitamin D, which supports bone health, immune function, and importantly, heart health. People with low vitamin D levels are often at a risk for higher blood pressure. So this simple act of being outside is actually more powerful than we even imagine. Fresh air has its own magic. Being indoors sometimes can feel a little stale, especially right now in the South. We have our air conditioning running all the time to keep us comfortable inside. So stepping out just feels natural and freeing. Outdoor air, especially in the garden, is cleaner, fresher, and full of negative ions that may boost mood and energy. Breathing outside feels different, more alive. Of course, moderation is key, like it is key in every facet of our lives. So we don't want to overdo the sun exposure, and certainly wearing sunblock or a sun hat to protect your skin is also, of vital importance. So we want to do what we can that feels good without overdoing it. Number 5 is a sense of accomplishment. Now, this one sounds extremely emotional, but it's actually deeply physical. When we achieve something, our brains release dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter. It boosts mood, it lowers stress, and even impacts blood pressure. Now, I don't know about you, but the person that I am just naturally is, I feel best when I'm being productive. Even if I'm doing something small, as long as I'm being productive, I feel great. I'm not the kind of person who can just sit on a couch all day long and enjoy watching TV or whatever. I just don't like it. Even I get ants in my pants when I'm on the couch relaxing, trying to read a book. I just can't stay there for a really long period of time. I find myself having to accomplish something. Planting a flower and watching it thrive is like positive reinforcement. It's a reminder that the effort you put in is met with results. And in a world that feels so out of control sometimes, that is a really amazing reminder to ourselves. I feel like every bloom in the garden is a little reminder to ourselves that the little actions we're taking, watering, pruning, things like that, all add up to the success of this plant. And it's kind of like that with our bodies. We have little things that we're trying to monitor, whether it be food intake or the amount of sleep that we're getting, etc. And it all adds up to the success of us and our well-being. So yes, gardening is about beautiful blooms and a luscious garden. But for right now, gardening to me is just part of helping my overall well-being, helping me to feel as good as I can while we figure out the mysteries of what is happening health-wise for me. My intention is to stay out in the garden, working, filming, doing all the things that I do. But if I have to take it down a notch, you may see less videos from me in a week. I typically post 3 videos every single week. But if I can't do it physically or because something else is happening, then at least you know. I'm telling you now that may be a possibility moving forward. We're in the middle of everything with getting lots of blood work and lots of doctor's appointments and all the different things. So I will always do my best because the garden is where my joy is. This is where my passion is. I want to be here more than I want to be anywhere else. So I think that is a benefit for me to be out here, because I know that gardening can be so great for my health. And I don't know what you may be dealing with on your side, but I encourage you, take small steps in the garden, get your hands in the dirt, feel those little senses of accomplishment, and all of that should add up to a bigger picture of wellness. As I always like to say, one of my favorite quotes, little by little, a little becomes a lot. So let's do those small, low impact motions over and over again. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. I enjoyed our greenhouse chats back in the winter so very much, and I felt like it helped us as a gardening community to come together, because I got so many comments from you about things that were happening in your lives, and it was related to what our topics were in the greenhouse. Hopefully this is similar and this topic resonates with you in one way, shape, or form. Let's all be well, thinking of everyone. Thank you for your comments and your love, and until next time, you guys, happy planting.